A group of youths from the Niger Delta has stressed the urgent need to restructure the country along economic lines before the 2019 general election. It was one of the resolutions reached at the Niger Delta Young Leaders Stakeholders Forum that held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. The group is also calling for 100% control of oil resources by the Niger Delta, describing this as the only solution to agitations for development in the region.
We have 8 local governments in Bayelsa State. Somebody have 40-something local government in one other state, and you are sharing our own resources, and you say the country does not need restructuring. Now, for example, every month end, we have all our commissioners of finance go to Abuja to share which money, either money that is coming from agriculture, or is money that is coming from cocoa, or is it money that is coming from granite, or is money that is coming from mining. You go to the north today, you cannot find a Niger Delta person mining in the north.
I think that if it was okay in the granite and cocoa era for these things to be done in their places and tax to be paid to the center, why not the oil era? My sister mentioned that we should look beyond oil. Okay, fine. While we wait for the 30, 40 years for the oil to dry up, please let us for now manage now until it dries up.
With us in the studio to discuss this heightened agitation is a professor of finance at the University of Lagos, Wilfred Iyiegbuniwe. Many thanks for joining us. I hope I got your name correctly. I had to learn that from my colleague.
You did.
Okay, good. So let's kick off. What is your take on this agitation, this dimension to this agitation for restructuring?
My take is that the issue of restructuring Nigeria is a certainty. The timing is just the only issue. Because you can see that the agitation is coming from all parts of the country, both north and south. So it's obvious that everybody, one way or the other, wants restructuring. Of course, they might have different ideas as to what they want on the table. I think even the government in power, APC government, had it as one of its manifesto points. He promised the country restructuring. The chairman of the party had come out to say, yes, we did. Even the governor of Kaduna State did also acknowledge that they did. I think efforts should be made to do something about it. My take is that the past government anticipated this. There was a confab on this, and it was one of the issues. It's surprising that that confab, after much money has been spent on it, has just been put into the archives.
All right, so let's talk about what this Niger Delta youth are demanding for. They're asking that there will be no election come 2019 and no oil blocks for anyone, for that matter, if restructuring does not happen before 2019. Is it realistic to actually expect that this restructuring, as much as it is desired, can actually happen before 2019? How realistic is that?
Negotiation starts with demands. It might not be that everything must be concluded, but if there is, I'm sure if there is a serious effort ongoing, the parties concerned will see that something is being done.
Is it not reassuring that this present government, the APC-led government, has come up, they've set up a committee to actually look at the modalities for restructuring? And of course, the acting president has held all manner of meetings with leaders across the country. Isn't this enough to demonstrate that government really is serious about this?
You see, the problem with Nigeria is that we talk too much.
Okay.
Before this government came into power, they had the idea about restructuring. They have now spent 2 years out of 4 years. So by this point in time, we should see something concrete.
Okay.
If I'm not a spokesman for the militants or the agitators,
yeah, right.
But the point is that if there's something serious going on that will convince me that something is going to come out of it, then I will say, okay, there's hope. But for now, I don't think there's any concrete steps that I will take.
Wilfred, the high point of this particular agitation is 100% resource control by the Niger Delta. That's what they want. Do you see that happening? Is that feasible, really?
That might not happen. It's not likely to happen. But the point is that in making demands, you start from a point, and the opposing party or parties will come with their own points, and then you meet somewhere midway.
But
in other words,
as the country
it's
being
not
fair,
likely to be.
As a country being fair to people in that part of the divide, you're talking about even oil block. About 90% of those oil blocks are owned by some other part of the country, not from that particular area. Is there be some kind of a fairness, really?
You have to recognize how the oil blocks got to the people that have it now. It was a function of who was in power at the center. You see, the problem is that why people are agitating is that there's too much power at the center. There's need to devolve power a bit down. And much of the power, centers on resource control.
Now, this restructuring, many people have been interpreting it to mean different things to them. Some actually believe it means dismemberment of the country. In your opinion, what kind of restructuring should Nigeria be looking at seriously?
I'm surprised that the legislature is silent on this or is not taking any concrete steps, because they are elected representatives.
And they seem to be looking at the confab of 2014.
I expect that they would have, by now, whether set up a committee or debate or whatever. Restructuring does not amount, in my own interpretation, it's not the same thing as dismembering the country, no.
What does it mean to you? What kind of restructuring should we be looking at?
Restructuring of power, the power structure, redefining it, reforming it. And I'll give you an example, part of the problem. Part of the problem we have in this country is that take somebody born in Lagos, I come from Delta, does not speak his native language, speaks only Yoruba, and he's grown up, spent all his life here, he's in the 50s, and when it comes to issue of resource sharing, either elected position, he'll be told that he's not an indigenous of the state. So citizenship of states or of communities, there's need to have a second look at it. Okay. Restructuring includes things like that. If I come from Delta, I'm active in Lagos State, and I can participate in the affairs of the state, I will not be thinking more about where I came from originally. Okay,
there seems to be some level of grandstanding coming from each of those groups making some agitations. The IPOP group is saying the election in Anambra will not hold if nothing is done. This particular group was saying if nothing is done by 2019, perhaps election in that part of the country will be boycotted. The federal government may want to calm some frayed nerves. What really should be in the works as we speak to calm those nerves?
What I think should be in the works, in my own opinion, is that some concrete efforts, some serious discussion should be ongoing. If the confab report is not adequate, then do more, add more to it. But it should form a basis for discussion. I'm not fully aware of the contents of that confab report, but to keep quiet and we just go on as if nothing has, there's no problem. There's problem. There's agitation coming from all sides of the country.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Professor Wilfred Iyiegbuniwe, Professor of Finance, University of Lagos, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.